had been trekking the rugged mountain trails for days, chasing the elusive promise of untouched wilderness, when an uncanny feeling began to settle over me. The day had started as any other, a steady, almost meditative pace under a pale sky. But as I reached a narrow ridge overlooking a deep valley, everything shifted. There, nestled in the embrace of steep, shadowed slopes, I first saw it. A forest that seemed to defy the natural order of things. At first glance, it appeared no different from any other patch of wilderness. Yet, as I drew nearer, the forest's presence became impossibly surreal. The trees rose like ancient, silent guardians, their trunks twisted and gnarled with age, their leaves shimmering with a strange luminescence that seemed to pulse in time with the whispering wind. The colors were off, a blend of deep emeralds and shadowy grays that defied description, as if nature itself had painted the scene with hues reserved for dreams and nightmares alike. I stepped onto a narrow, overgrown path that led me into this mesmerizing world. With every careful step, the earth beneath my boots felt softer, almost as if it were absorbing not just my weight, but also my very presence. The ground was spongy, damp with moisture that hinted at secrets buried deep within the soil. There was a palpable energy in the air, an almost electric charge that sent shivers coursing along my spine. I couldn't shake the unsettling sensation that I had crossed an invisible threshold into a realm where time itself had lost its way. As I ventured deeper, the forest grew thicker and the light dimmer. A dense canopy of interwoven branches and leaves blocked out the sun, leaving the forest floor bathed in an eerie, diffuse twilight. Shadows danced unpredictably, shifting with every subtle movement, and it felt as though unseen eyes were constantly watching from the gloom. The usual chorus of nature, the chirping of birds, the rustle of small animals in the underbrush, had fallen silent, replaced by a heavy, oppressive quiet that made every heartbeat sound like a drum. The air here carried a scent that was both familiar and disquieting. There was the rich, loamy odor of earth and decaying leaves, mingled with a faint metallic tang that I couldn't quite place. A taste of something ancient and ominous lingering in the atmosphere. It was as if the forest exhaled a secret warning with every breath of wind that stirred the mist around me. I pressed on, driven by an inexplicable mix of awe and dread. With each step, the forest seemed to transform subtly, as if it were a living entity with a will of its own. The familiar landmarks I had noted on my map and in my memory vanished, replaced by an ever-changing maze of gnarled roots and tangled vines. The path I trod on twisted unexpectedly, leading me deeper into the heart of this mysterious place. I felt simultaneously drawn to and repelled by the forest's hypnotic allure. There was a moment when I stopped, frozen in the midst of an open glade. Here the silence was nearly complete, so absolute that I could hear my own rapid breathing echo in the stillness. I glanced around, my eyes straining to capture every detail. The way the trees leaned together as if conspiring, the subtle shimmer of dew on leaves that reflected an otherworldly glow, and the peculiar feeling that the forest was somehow alive, its pulse matching the rhythm of my own fear. In that charged silence, I realized that this was no ordinary woodland. Every instinct screamed that I had stumbled upon something extraordinary, something dangerous. The forest was a realm unto itself, a place that existed on the fringes of our known world, where the laws of nature and time seemed to warp and bend. It was as if I had entered a hidden dimension, one that revealed its secrets only to those who dared to step beyond the veil of the mundane. With a mixture of trepidation and morbid curiosity, I took a deep breath and ventured further into the depths of the forest, unaware that each step was binding me tighter to its dark and enigmatic embrace. What began as a simple hike had transformed into an encounter with a mystery that would haunt me long after I left the mountains behind. I pressed deeper into the tangled labyrinth, my earlier wonder slowly giving way to an unsettling dread. At first, the forest's beauty had captivated me, but now every step felt like a misstep to something far more sinister. I soon realized that this was no ordinary wilderness. Every path I trod on seemed designed to disorient, twisting back on itself until familiar landmarks vanished without a trace. I attempted to leave a mark, a small pile of stones here, a carved symbol on an old trunk there, but each effort was undone almost immediately, as though the forest itself was determined to erase all signs of my presence. In the fading light, a creeping chill took hold of me. The trees, once majestic and inviting, now loomed like ancient sentinels bent on concealing dark secrets. Their bark, rough and knotted, seemed to pulse with an eerie energy that defied natural explanation. Leaves that should have been vibrant were instead dull, almost lifeless, their colors washed out in a manner that spoke of decay rather than autumnal splendor. Even the undergrowth, soft and mossy moments before, now appeared overrun by shadow, its forms shifting imperceptibly as I moved. Desperate to document the anomaly, I retrieved my camera, a tool I had always trusted to capture reality. But as I raised it toward a particularly dense cluster of trees, the device betrayed me. The viewfinder filled with an impenetrable blur, an unyielding haze that refused to resolve into anything tangible. I fiddled with the focus, adjusted the settings, even restarted the camera in a frantic bid for clarity, but all in vain. It was as if the forest had conspired to hide its true visage from any means of human record, leaving only a ghostly impression behind. As dusk deepened into night, an oppressive silence descended. The usual chorus of nocturnal sounds, chirping crickets, rustling small animals, had been swallowed by a heavy, uncanny stillness. With every cautious step, I could sense the forest closing in around me, its presence more than just the sum of its trees and undergrowth. There was an underlying pulse to the silence, a slow, rhythmic throb that matched the rapid beating of my heart and seemed to emanate from deep within the forest's core. The further I ventured, the more the surroundings betrayed a disquieting uniformity. The familiar contours of the mountain trails I once knew had melted away into an endless expanse of twisted trunks and interlocking branches. I soon realized with mounting horror that the forest I had entered was not the one I remembered from previous hikes. It was as though I had stepped through a crack in reality into a parallel world, a shadow realm where nature had contorted into something both grotesque and mesmerizing. Every effort to retrace my steps was met with baffling inconsistency. The path I remembered was no longer there. Instead, I found myself caught in an ever-changing maze, where every turn led back to the same indistinguishable scene. Even the light itself seemed to betray me. Patches of moonlight that should have guided me through the gloom appeared and vanished unpredictably, as if the very fabric of the night was being rewritten by unseen hands. In a moment of stark terror, I encountered a clearing that defied the oppressive density of the forest. Here, the canopy broke open to reveal a slice of the night sky, a sky that churned with dark, roiling clouds moving at an impossible pace. In the center of the clearing stood a solitary withered tree, its branches bare and contorted into grotesque shapes. The sight of this skeletal remnant was a jarring counterpoint to the lush chaos surrounding it, a silent harbinger of decay in a place that should have been teeming with life. I knelt before it, feeling an inexplicable pull, as though the tree were trying to communicate a dire warning through the language of despair. It was then that the horrifying truth began to crystallize in my mind. This forest was not merely a hidden part of the mountain. It was something otherworldly, a liminal space existing on the fringes of our reality. The forest had its own rhythm, its own laws, and that I was an intruder in a realm that did not abide by the rules of time or nature. Every instinct screamed that I had crossed into a domain where human presence was not just unwelcome, but fundamentally dangerous. The overwhelming sense of isolation pressed down on me as I stood in that eerie clearing. Every attempt to orient myself was frustrated by the forest's relentless, shifting geometry. I could no longer rely on memory or logic. The forest was rewriting the landscape with every step I took. In that moment, it became painfully clear that I was caught in a trap, ensnared by a living, breathing enigma that did not intend to let me leave unscathed. In the dim glow of the moon, with the withered tree as my only sentinel, I realized that this was no accidental misfortune. The forest was alive in a way that defied understanding, a malignant force that absorbed and erased all traces of intrusion. Its very existence was a mystery, a puzzle of nature and time that had no place in the world I knew. And as I stood there, heart pounding with a mixture of terror and awe, I understood that my presence here had upset a delicate, ancient balance. I was an interloper in a realm that should never have been disturbed, and every moment I lingered only deepened the danger that lurked within the shadows. With every fiber of my being screaming to flee, I took a hesitant step backward, acutely aware that the forest had already begun its silent, relentless assault on my very soul. The distorted landscape around me, the vanishing trails, and the mocking failure of my own tools all conspired to confirm the horrifying reality. I was not meant to be here. The forest, in its terrifying, otherworldly beauty, was a place that should never be found twice. And now, I feared, it was determined to ensure that I would never leave at all. As the daylight faded into a dismal twilight, I felt an unsettling urgency urging me to leave. The forest, which had once revealed itself in a curious interplay of beauty and dread, now transformed into a forbidding labyrinth of shadows and twisted paths. Determined to retrace my steps and escape its suffocating embrace, I began my journey back. But almost immediately, I discovered that nothing was as it should be. The familiar trail that I had meticulously noted in my mind had dissolved into an endless maze of gnarled roots and deceptive clearings. Every step I took led me deeper into an unchanging horror. I found myself looping through the same twisted corridors of towering silent trees that seemed to conspire against any notion of escape. The path I remembered so clearly had betrayed me, vanished into the undergrowth, and reappeared in a distorted version of itself. It was as if the forest had become a living puzzle, rearranging its pieces with malicious intent. I turned left, then right, only to find myself in a clearing that I had seen moments before. A clearing with a solitary, withered oak standing as a grim monument to lost hope. The realization struck me with a cold, paralyzing terror. I was trapped. The forest was no longer a static expanse of nature. It had morphed into an active, almost sentient entity that reshaped its own layout with every passing minute. The once inviting hues of green and brown had been replaced by an oppressive darkness, punctuated by fleeting pockets of weak, inconsistent light. Each movement of the trees, each subtle shift in the ground beneath my feet, confirmed that I was no longer walking through a natural landscape, but through a nightmare designed to ensnare me. Panic surged through my veins as I tried to force myself to remember the route back to safety. My mind, once clear and methodical, was now clouded by dread and confusion. Every direction looked the same, every turn led to a dead end, and every step felt heavier than the last, as though the forest itself were weighing down my escape with invisible chains. I began to run, desperate to outpace the relentless pull of this living maze, but the forest responded with an eerie stillness that belied my frantic pace. The ground, soft and yielding underfoot, seemed to conspire with the darkness, swallowing my footprints as if to erase any evidence of my passage. Time lost all meaning. Moments stretched into what felt like hours as I wandered through an endless loop of indistinguishable scenery. I passed the same gnarled tree, the same twisted clearing, again and again, each repetition intensifying the sense of futility that clawed at my mind. The oppressive silence was a constant reminder of my isolation. There were no distant sounds of life, no reassuring echoes of civilization. Only the sound of my own ragged breathing filled the void, a relentless metronome marking my descent into terror. The deeper I ventured, the more the forest revealed its true nature. It was not simply a collection of trees and undergrowth, but a malevolent force that defied the laws of nature. The layout of the forest was fluid, its boundaries shifting in a maddening dance. Landmarks I once recognized twisted into unrecognizable forms, and paths that once promised escape now led only to further entrapment. I tried to steady my shaking hands and retrace my steps, but the forest mocked my efforts by rearranging itself at every turn. I realized with mounting horror that the very fabric of this place was woven from the threads of illusion and dread. Desperation overtook me as I began to question my own sanity. Had I truly entered this cursed forest by chance, or had something unseen lured me into its depths? Each moment, every step, was a reminder that I was an intruder in a realm that was never meant for human eyes. The walls of trees closed in, their twisted branches forming a canopy that blocked out any remnants of the outside world. Shadows lengthened and merged, creating spectral forms that seemed to flit at the edge of my vision, taunting me with the possibility that I was not alone. I stumbled through the underbrush, my heart pounding so fiercely it threatened to shatter my composure. With every labored breath, I felt the weight of the forest's malevolence pressing closer, as if the very air were saturated with an ancient, unforgiving despair. My attempts to find an exit were met with the cruel irony. The forest, as if aware of my plight, appeared to guide me deeper into its clutches rather than toward freedom. In every direction, the scenery repeated itself with a maddening precision, as though I were doomed to wander an infinite loop of terror. At last, as I paused to catch my breath in a small clearing, a cold, crushing certainty settled over me. I was lost, irrevocably and utterly lost. The forest had ensnared me in its labyrinth, erasing all evidence of the path that once led out. The panic that surged through me was not just fear of being trapped, but a profound dread of what might eventually befall me in this realm of shifting shadows and deceptive echoes. In that chilling moment, I understood that the forest was not merely a place. It was a living nightmare, a dark anomaly in the fabric of reality that had no intention of letting me go. In the oppressive gloom of that endless maze, with every step forward feeling like a step deeper into oblivion, I realized that my desperate bid for escape was but a futile resistance against a force far greater and more inscrutable than I could ever comprehend. The forest, with its ever-changing paths and soul-crushing silence, had claimed me as one of its own, a lost wanderer in a realm where no one could ever find their way out twice. As I stumbled deeper into the heart of the forest, the oppressive silence that had once blanketed the woods began to crack. At first, it was nothing more than a soft murmur, a barely perceptible rustle of sound that I almost convinced myself was merely the wind. But as I pressed on, the murmurs grew into distinct voices, disembodied and echoing from every direction. I strained my ears, trying to catch words or names, but they slipped through my consciousness like water through my fingers. It was as if the forest had awakened a language of its own, speaking in a dialect of despair and warning. The voices came in layers, some gentle and sorrowful, others harsh and urgent. They seemed to whisper secrets of ages past, reciting fragmented tales of lost souls and ancient tragedies. At times, the whispers merged into a single, overwhelming chorus, as if the very trees were confessing their hidden sins. I found myself frozen, heart pounding, as I tried to distinguish one phrase from another. Each syllable resonated deep within me, stirring a sense of foreboding that was almost tangible. No matter which direction I turned, there was no source to be found. The sounds emerged from the very fabric of the forest, melding with the rustling leaves and the creaking of ancient branches. And then, as if punctuating the eerie symphony, I began to notice something even more disconcerting. The ground beneath my feet seemed to shift, with a deliberate, almost sentient rhythm. With every step I took, the soil undulated subtly, and the familiar patterns of roots and undergrowth rearranged themselves in bewildering configurations. At moments, I caught fleeting glimpses of figures moving at the periphery of my vision, shadows that darted behind trees and vanished when I turned to look. These silhouettes were never fully formed, always obscured by the shifting gloom. Yet their presence was undeniable, as if the forest itself had birthed specters to accompany the voices. The air grew heavy with the metallic scent of something ancient and unsettling, a reminder that this place was not bound by the simple laws of nature. As I moved forward, the landscape began to change in alarming ways. The trees, which had once stood in silent, predictable rows, now twisted into grotesque shapes, their branches curling like the fingers of unseen hands reaching out from the darkness. The terrain morphed beneath my feet, a clear, well-trodden path one moment, and an impassable tangle of brambles the next. It was as if the forest was actively reshaping itself, creating a labyrinth where every turn brought with it a new nightmare. In the midst of this disorientation, the voices took on an even more menacing tone. Some words were sharp and biting, laden with a threat that sent shivers racing down my spine. I could almost feel the weight of their implications, a dire warning that trespassers were not meant to linger here. The whispers began to form phrases, half-heard sentences that spoke of punishment, of a debt that must be repaid, and of a fate worse than oblivion for those who dared disturb the ancient order of this cursed place. Every now and then, a solitary, louder exclamation would cut through the murmur like a shard of ice, a sound akin to a door slamming shut in the distance. There were no buildings here, no remnants of civilization to explain such a noise. Instead, it seemed to signal the closing of a portal, a barrier between this world and another realm of unspeakable horror. The realization that the forest might be a gateway, a threshold to something far more sinister, filled me with a paralyzing dread. With every step, the boundaries between reality and nightmare blurred further. The shifting landscape conspired with the voices to erase all semblance of order, leaving me adrift in a realm where every sound and movement was a calculated threat. I felt as though I were caught in a waking dream, one where the forest was alive, malevolent, and determined to keep its secrets hidden at any cost. The deeper I ventured, the more the whispers seemed to press in on me, their cumulative weight a constant reminder of my vulnerability. I could no longer tell if the voices were guiding me toward an exit or luring me deeper into the abyss. The forest's language was indecipherable, its messages a cryptic mix of invitation and menace. Each whispered warning echoed in my mind, urging me to abandon hope and surrender to the inevitability of being consumed by this living nightmare. In that disorienting moment, I understood with a cold clarity that the forest was not merely a collection of trees and underbrush. It was an ancient, sentient force that spoke in voices older than time. Its shifting landscape and haunting murmurs were a declaration of its dominion over this realm, a realm where I was an intruder, unworthy of escape. And as the voices rose once more into a cacophony of despair, I could only pray that my next step would not seal my fate forever in this haunted wilderness. I emerged from the forest like a man exhumed from a nightmare. My body trembled uncontrollably as I found myself at the edge of the twisted, malignant woodland, a place where the very air seemed tainted by a sinister presence. The path that once twisted endlessly through the labyrinth of trees now lay open and clear, almost beckoning me toward the safety of the known world. Yet even in that moment of apparent escape, I felt the heavy, lingering weight of something profoundly wrong. Every instinct screamed that the forest had not truly released its hold on me. The oppressive silence of that cursed realm still echoed in my mind, carrying with it faint, ghostly warnings that I could never quite forget. It was as if the forest had imprinted a piece of its dark soul upon me, a relentless reminder that I had trespassed in a realm not meant for human beings. The path out was a cruel illusion, a temporary reprieve from a nightmare that was always just a heartbeat away from reclaiming its victim. Once I stepped into the open, the cool night air hit me with a jarring clarity. The relief was palpable, yet tainted by an undercurrent of dread. I stumbled along the trail, my senses still haunted by the disquieting murmurs and shifting shadows of the forest. Every rustle of leaves, every distant groan of wind against the trees sent a surge of panic through my veins, as if the very wilderness were conspiring to drag me back into its inescapable clutches. Days later, I attempted to piece together the fragments of that surreal ordeal. Eager to confront the evidence of what I had experienced, I retrieved my camera, the one tool that had once promised to capture the truth of the forest's impossible beauty. But when I scrolled through the images, my heart sank. The memory cards were barren, filled with nothing but blank screens where the twisted silhouettes of ancient trees and ghostly mists should have been. It was as if the forest had deliberately erased every trace of its existence, determined to leave behind nothing but a void of unanswered questions. I could not shake the overwhelming sense that the forest was not merely a physical location, but a living, breathing anomaly, a portal to another realm where time and memory were warped beyond recognition. That night, as I lay awake, haunted by the echo of whispers that no longer belonged to this world, I realized that my escape had been only partial. The forest had left its mark on me, a persistent dread that whispered of its inevitable return. Driven by a desperate need for closure, I returned to the mountain trail the following day. I hoped to find a remnant of that strange, ephemeral world, a final sign that could explain the impossible. But when I arrived, the spot where the forest had once loomed was now nothing more than an unremarkable expanse of rugged terrain. There were no signs of the twisted canopy, no hint of that otherworldly glow. Only the stark, barren truth of nature, indifferent and cold. The absence was a terror in itself, a confirmation that the forest was a fleeting phantom, visible only to those cursed to witness its transient existence. In the silence of that desolate landscape, a single haunting thought took root. If the forest could vanish without a trace, leaving behind nothing but the raw, aching fear of what it represented, then what other dark, inexplicable phenomena might lurk at the edge of our reality? I was left with the lingering terror that I had been marked by forces far beyond human understanding, a silent warning that one day, when the world least expects it, the forest might return to claim its due. Now, as I live with the constant, oppressive memory of that night, I cannot help but wonder if my escape was ever truly complete. The forest's malevolent influence remains like a shadow over my every step, a grim reminder that some mysteries are not meant to be solved, but rather to haunt us forever. The studio was buzzing with the usual pre-show energy. Technicians adjusted cameras, producers whispered last-minute instructions into earpieces, and the host, Martin Hayes, reviewed his cue cards under the bright stage lights. It was just another night of the evening report, a prime-time talk show known for in-depth interviews with high-profile guests. That evening's guest was Matthew Reeves, a well-respected investigative journalist with a reputation for uncovering secrets most people weren't meant to know. He had exposed corporate scandals, political cover-ups, and even claims of secret government experiments. Reeves wasn't just another journalist. He was the kind of man who made enemies in high places. At precisely 8 p.m., the show went live. Millions of viewers tuned in across the country, watching as the opening music faded and Martin Hayes greeted his audience with a charismatic smile. Tonight we have a very special guest. He's fearless, he's relentless, and his latest investigation might just be his most shocking yet. Please welcome Matthew Reeves. The studio audience erupted into applause as Reeves walked onto the stage, shaking hands with Hayes before settling into the chair across from him. He was calm, confident, and slightly amused by the energy of the crowd. For the first 15 minutes, everything went as expected. They discussed his career, his past investigations, and his thoughts on current events. Then, just as they were about to transition into the real reason Reeves had come on the show, it happened. A moment that would go down in television history. It was subtle at first, almost imperceptible. A flicker. A strange shift in the camera feed that most people wouldn't have noticed if they weren't watching closely. 1 second, Reeves was mid-sentence, leaning slightly forward, his hands gesturing as he spoke. The next second, he was gone. Not in a dramatic flash of light, not in a blur of movement. One moment, he was there. The next, his chair was empty. The studio audience went silent. The host blinked, confused, staring at the now vacant seat in front of him. The camera operator hesitated, unsure whether to zoom in or cut to commercial. The control room was in chaos, producers yelling into their headsets, demanding to know what just happened. Martin Hayes let out a nervous chuckle, assuming, like everyone else in the room, that this was some kind of elaborate prank. "All right, Matt. Very funny. Where'd you go?" Silence. Someone in the audience let out a confused murmur. The show's crew rushed onto the set, searching behind the furniture, checking under the desk, even glancing toward the stage exits. But Matthew Reeves was nowhere to be found. The broadcast continued live, unedited. Viewers at home were just as confused as those in the studio. Social media exploded within minutes. Did anyone else just see that? Where did Matthew Reeves go? This has to be some kind of camera trick, right? The network cut to an emergency commercial break. By the time they returned, the host looked visibly shaken. There was no explanation given, no joke, no reassurance, only an abrupt decision to end the episode early. By midnight, the police had arrived. Every exit, every corridor, every room in the building was searched. Security footage was pulled. The building was locked down. Nothing. There was no trace of Matthew Reeves. And worse, no one could explain how he had disappeared. The footage was replayed over and over again. Every television station, every news outlet, and every social media platform dissected the moment in slow motion, trying to understand what had just happened. From one frame to the next, Matthew Reeves simply vanished. There was no sign of movement, no sudden blur, as if he had stood up and walked away. His microphone remained clipped to his lapel, resting on the chair as if his body had dissolved around it. The show's lighting remained consistent. The shadows never changed. There was no camera cut, no transition, no special effects. And yet, he was gone. The production team was in chaos. Security was alerted immediately, assuming Reeves had somehow slipped away as part of a planned stunt. But as they scoured the studio, checking every hallway, every locked door, and every exit, they realized something chilling. The building's surveillance system had been running the entire time. From the moment Reeves entered the studio that evening, his every move had been recorded. They tracked his arrival, his time in the green room, and his walk onto the stage. But after his disappearance, the cameras showed nothing. No one leaving. No hidden escape route. Reeves had simply ceased to exist. The show's host, Martin Hayes, sat in his dressing room, his hands shaking as he replayed the raw studio feed on a loop. He called for the director, the producers, anyone who could offer an explanation. "Tell me this is a hoax," he muttered. "Tell me he planned this." No one had an answer. But then, something even stranger emerged. While reviewing the footage frame by frame, one of the editors noticed something unsettling. In the split second before Reeves vanished, a distortion appeared in the video feed. It wasn't a glitch. It wasn't compression artifacting. It was a shape. Behind Reeves, just over his left shoulder, the air seemed to ripple, like heat rising from pavement. It lasted for less than half a second, but as they slowed the footage down further, a faint silhouette took form. A human figure, faceless, tall, watching. And then, Reeves was gone. Some of the show's staff dismissed it as a trick of the light, a camera malfunction. But others weren't so sure. Viewers at home began analyzing the footage themselves, posting screenshots, zooming in on the distortion. Conspiracy forums exploded overnight. Did anyone else see the shadow? What was standing behind him? This isn't just a disappearance. This is something else. Within 24 hours, the clip had become one of the most analyzed pieces of television footage in history. But there was one last chilling discovery. After isolating the audio from Reeves's microphone, sound engineers noticed something just before the moment he vanished. A whisper, barely audible, distorted, warped like a voice underwater. It lasted only half a second, but when slowed down, it was clear enough to make out two words. "He's ready." And then, silence. Matthew Reeves was gone, and no one could explain where he went. In the days that followed Matthew Reeves' disappearance, the world demanded answers. News anchors replayed the footage in endless loops. Forensic video analysts examined the frames, and skeptics dismissed it as an elaborate hoax. But there was one problem. There was no explanation. Law enforcement launched a full-scale investigation. The studio was locked down, security tapes analyzed, and everyone who had been present that night was interviewed. Reeves's family, his colleagues, even the production crew. No one had any knowledge of a stunt or pre-planned disappearance. There were no ransom notes, no threats, no traces of Reeves inside the building or anywhere outside it. His phone, which had been in his pocket during the broadcast, never pinged another cell tower. His car was still in the station's parking lot. His bank accounts remained untouched. His home was exactly as he left it. He had simply vanished from reality itself. The footage breakdown, what experts found. As investigators combed through every second of footage, looking for an answer, they made three unsettling discoveries. The shadow that shouldn't exist. The figure that appeared behind Reeves wasn't just a visual distortion. Advanced video analysis confirmed that whatever it was had depth. It wasn't a trick of lighting. The figure cast a faint shadow, meaning it was physically present for a split second before Reeves vanished. The microphone recording and the voice. After enhancing the whisper captured on Reeves's microphone, audio analysts isolated more than just, "He's ready." There was something else, something deeper, buried beneath layers of static. A low, rhythmic breathing sound, as if something was standing right next to him. The live audience's reaction, or lack of it. Perhaps the strangest discovery of all came from reviewing the crowd's response. As Reeves vanished, not a single audience member reacted in real time. Only after the host turned to the empty chair did people begin to panic. One frame-by-frame analysis suggested something horrifying. For a brief moment, the audience didn't seem to notice Reeves was gone at all. It was as if their perception had been altered, as if, for a fraction of a second, reality had rewritten itself. The theories that followed. With no rational explanation, theories began to spread like wildfire. Theory 1. A hoax gone wrong. The first assumption was simple. Reeves had staged his own disappearance, a publicity stunt, an elaborate trick. But if this was the case, why had the network refused to air reruns? Why had the production crew, who would have been in on the stunt, never spoken about it again? If it was a trick, it was one of the most elaborate and flawless illusions ever pulled off. Theory 2. A government cover-up. Reeves wasn't just a journalist. He was an investigative reporter known for exposing corruption and classified projects. Days before his disappearance, he had been working on a story. One that, according to leaked emails, involved something called Project Blackout. His colleagues claimed Reeves had seemed nervous, even paranoid, before his final broadcast. He had mentioned that if anything happened to him, they would make sure no one ever found him. But who were they? Theories ran wild. Had Reeves been erased? Had he uncovered something that led to his removal? And if so, how did they do it on live television? Theory 3. A reality glitch? The most unsettling theory came from those who analyzed the anomalies in the footage. What if Reeves had never left the room? Some speculated that his disappearance wasn't an act of removal, but of displacement. That whatever took him didn't move him, changed the way reality perceived him. The whisper, the flickering shadow, the way the audience didn't react until seconds later. What if Reeves had been erased from perception, not just existence? A final clue, and the emails that shouldn't exist. Weeks after the investigation led nowhere, something chilling happened. Reeves' former colleagues began receiving emails from his personal account. The subject lines were always the same. I'm still here. The messages contained nothing, only an attached file. The files were short, static-filled audio recordings. Most of them unrecognizable, distorted beyond comprehension. One stood out. It contained only 5 words, a voice that barely sounded human. It took me mid-sentence. Then, silence. The email account was deactivated soon after. And Matthew Reeves was never seen again. Days turned into weeks. The investigation into Matthew Reeves's disappearance stalled. The talk show episode that aired that night was pulled from all network archives. Reruns were never broadcast. No official statement was given. Only a vague corporate response claiming the matter remains under investigation. But outside the mainstream media, theories continued to spread like wildfire. The footage had been recorded by viewers, uploaded, and analyzed across the internet. Thousands of people studied every frame, hoping to find something that had been missed. They weren't alone. Because something, or someone, wanted them to keep looking. And it started with the emails. The first email, a message from nowhere. 2 weeks after Reeves vanished, his former producer, Elaine Carter, received an email from his personal account. The subject line was simple. I'm still here. There was no message, no explanation, just an audio file attached, one that had no reason to exist. Elaine hesitated before playing it. The moment she did, her speakers crackled with static. At first it was nothing, just garbled noise. Then, something formed beneath the distortion. A voice. Low, broken, barely human. It took me mid-sentence. Then, silence. Elaine sat frozen. She called the police, forwarded the email to investigators, and tried to rationalize what she had just heard. By the time law enforcement traced the sender's location, the email account had already been deleted. It no longer existed. Neither did the file. Elaine tried to play it again, but it was gone, as if it had never been there at all. The spread, others begin receiving messages. Elaine wasn't the only one. Over the next several weeks, Matthew Reeves's close friends, family, and colleagues all reported receiving similar emails, each one identical. Subject: I'm still here. No message, just a single attachment. Some messages contained nothing but white noise. Others had fragments of whispered sentences, too distorted to fully understand. One, sent to a former co-worker, contained the clearest recording yet. A voice barely above a whisper. I don't know where I am. It's not dark, but it's empty. I see something moving. They're watching me. And then, laughter. Not Matthew's, something else. A slow, echoing chuckle that didn't belong to a human throat. And just like before, once the file had been opened, it vanished. No one could forward the messages. No one could save the attachments. They only played once. The woman who saw him, or something pretending to be him. Among those investigating the case was an independent journalist named Leah Moore. She had been covering missing persons cases for years, but Reeves's disappearance fascinated her. She had studied the footage, spoken to former co-workers, and even received one of the infamous emails herself. But she wasn't prepared for what happened next. One evening, while reviewing security footage from the talk show's studio, Leah caught movement on her screen. At first, it seemed like a glitch, a shadow flickering in the reflection of the set's glossy floor. Then she froze. Because it wasn't just any shadow. It was a man, Matthew Reeves, standing in the exact spot where he had disappeared. His face was pale, his eyes wide, unblinking, his mouth slightly open, as if frozen mid-sentence. Then, slowly, his head turned. And in that instant, Leah's screen cut to black. The footage was gone. But before the screen shut off completely, Leah swore she heard a voice whisper from her speakers. You're looking too closely. The forgotten interview, and the last words that made sense. Before Reeves vanished, he had spoken to a fellow journalist about his upcoming investigation. The interview was casual, but there was one moment that stood out. Something he said that, at the time, didn't seem important. I've been researching something strange, he had said, smiling. People who disappear mid-sentence, mid-thought, like reality forgets them before they finish speaking. His colleague had laughed it off, but Matthew Reeves never finished his last sentence. And now, it seemed, he wasn't forgotten. He was trapped. Somewhere. The disappearance of Matthew Reeves remained one of the most unsettling, unsolved mysteries in television history. Though the network had scrubbed the footage from official archives, it continued to circulate among amateur investigators and conspiracy theorists. But one particular recording, discovered years later, changed everything. A forgotten angle, a frame that had never been aired. It revealed something no one was prepared for. The camera that was never supposed to be found. A decade after Reeves vanished, a freelance editor named Daniel Corrigan was sifting through old broadcast archives for an unrelated documentary. He had access to raw, unedited footage from hundreds of old shows. That's when he stumbled upon it. A backup reel from the night of Matthew's disappearance. What made this clip different? It was from a different camera angle, one that had never been aired. One that faced behind Matthew, showing what had been behind him before he vanished. Daniel pressed play. For the first several minutes, nothing unusual happened. The host was speaking. Matthew was responding, mid-sentence, as he had been before he disappeared. Then, it happened. But this time, from this angle, something else was visible. Right before Matthew vanished, the camera picked up something standing behind him. A figure, barely visible, just a shape, a blur in the shadows. But then, it moved. fraction of a second before Reeves disappeared, the shadow reached for him. The frame that changed everything. Daniel froze the footage, rewound, played it frame by frame. At first, it was hard to tell if the movement was real or a simple video distortion. But as he advanced the recording one frame at a time, he noticed something chilling. The figure wasn't just a shadow. It had eyes that, for the briefest moment, locked onto Matthews. And in that same instant, he was gone. No fade out, no blur, just erased. What was it, and why couldn't anyone see it? Daniel enhanced the frame, sharpening the image as much as possible. The figure was still blurry, but its shape was unmistakable. Tall, thin, with impossibly long fingers. And its head, it was tilted, watching, almost studying Matthew, the way a scientist watches an experiment. That was when Daniel noticed something even stranger. The figure wasn't standing on the ground. It was suspended, as if hanging from the ceiling, or floating. And then, for the briefest moment, it turned toward the camera, turned toward him, as if it knew, as if it had just realized it was being watched. The footage disappears again. Daniel panicked. He immediately made copies of the footage, backing it up on multiple hard drives. He emailed the file to himself, uploaded it to a private cloud, even saved screenshots. He wasn't about to let this disappear too. But when he returned the next morning, it was gone. Every backup, every copy. The email attachments had been corrupted. The cloud file was empty. Even the original broadcast archive had been erased. It was as if the footage had never existed. As if something, or someone, didn't want it to be seen. The final frame and Matthew's last expression. There was only one thing left. Daniel had printed a single frame. The very last clear shot of Matthew Reeves before he vanished. He held it up to the light, staring at the man's expression. Matthew wasn't smiling anymore. His face was frozen in terror, his mouth slightly open, as if gasping, as if he saw what was behind him in his final second. And then Daniel noticed something else, something no one had mentioned before, something no one had ever talked about in any theory, in any news report, in any discussion. Just before he disappeared, just before he was taken, Matthew's own shadow was missing. Final words, the broadcast that never ended. Theories exploded. Had Matthew Reeves been erased from reality itself? Had he seen something no one else was meant to see? Or was he still out there? Still trapped, still watching? Because on the exact anniversary of his disappearance, at the exact same time, something strange happened during a random live broadcast. For a fraction of a second, so fast that most people missed it, a face appeared, distorted, blurred, but not unrecognizable. It was Matthew Reeves, mouth open, eyes wide, as if he was trying to say something. But the moment people tried to rewind and capture the frame, it was gone, just like him. What do you think happened to Matthew Reeves? If you want a part 2, hit like and subscribe. But the next time you watch TV, make sure you're still there when the broadcast ends. Eyes